Hey YouTube, this is Crown Royal Elegance. I'm just jumping on here just to let you know this is my very first video. Um, I am starting this channel in hopes that I can motivate and inspire people, around the world, and kind of have you follow me throughout my daily life. And just kind of share some of my stories. I feel like I've been through a whole lot within the past two to almost 3 years that I need to share. I feel like I owe God. I mean, of course, I'll never be able to pay him back, but I think that by just sharing a little bit of the things that I've been through, and hopefully I can help somebody that may be going through the same. So let's go ahead and jump in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe before I forget. That would be very helpful. It's, like I said, I am just starting out, and it would be very helpful. So have you all ever been through anything and it's like you don't really know how you got through it? That's literally been happening to me, like I said, within the past 2 to 3 years. I mean, it's really been happening my whole life, but now that I'm older, I can see it more clearly. A little bit about me. I have 3 children, and I was married. I am recently divorced as of August of this year, and it was the only relationship I've ever been in. So it was kind of like, but even with that, it was like, it wasn't like the waiting to exhale, oh, I'm about to file child support, and it was not that. It was literally, I feel like I gained more than I lost. And really, it was almost as if that period of my life, I say starting from November, of 2023, it's literally like God took everything that served me no good and just swept it all out of my life. Like literally, fake friends, the husband, the job. And it's like he took, when everything was taken, it was replaced with something better. Now, I don't mean better in the sense of the exact same thing. I'm telling y'all, I ain't got no friends. Y'all my friends. I talked to my one cousin that's like my best friend, sister, cousin, diary, everything wrapped in one, and my mom and my children. My children are literally my most favorite people in the whole wide world. They're older now, so they're 21, 17, and 14, and I have 2 boys and a girl, and we're like roommates in here. They literally like my roommates. But no, so I have a very small circle. Of course, I have my family, and I love them. Some I have to love from a distance, but all in all, I keep a tight circle, and it just works out for me. I know a lot of people, it seems like it's a lot of people that's like that. I've been finding, disregard, my son's in there on the game. So if y'all hear him yelling, that's what that is. But it's like everything was swept out at one time, and I was just like, okay, God, if this what we doing, okay. And I found out that God don't want us to question him. It's almost as if like he can hear conversations that we can't. He's in rooms that we're not in. So if you find that you stop talking to somebody, I mean, y'all don't have to fall out, nothing. You just, is literally for your better good. Don't force it. Don't try to, what's going on? What? No, no, no. You ain't even got to do all that. Especially if when those ties are cut and you notice that your life start getting better, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Life, I don't feel like life is supposed to be hard. I don't think that you're supposed to you're supposed to have people in your circle that you got to question and things like that. Like, it's just, I just don't feel that way. I didn't always feel that way, but something happened to me that made me look at life altogether different. Altogether different. So, like, for instance, August of 2023. Okay, so I was working from home for nearly 8 years. It was almost 8 years. In 1 month, it would have been 8 years. I worked for Hyatt Hotels from home. I worked from home for the past 15 years. I worked for some small companies, startup companies at first for a few years. And then I worked for Apple for 7 years. And then I worked for Hyatt for almost 8. So I did that because, not because I wanted to, but because having young children and having grown up and my mother had to work so much and wasn't there for a lot of things, I made the decision to work from home myself. So Hyatt was probably, Hyatt was the best job I ever had. Not having a degree and, entry level type situation, it was pretty much the best job I ever had. But it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. It was an easy job. I could do the job in my sleep. Everybody was nice. Management was nice. The perks were nice. I traveled a lot with Hyatt. Places that I probably wouldn't have been able to visit had I not worked for them. But something just didn't sit right with working. Something never really sat right with me working a job. I always did it because I had to. So fast forward to August of 2003. 2003. I had already separated from my ex-husband. And I was doing basically gig work, which is also what I do now. Gig work meaning like Amazon Flex and Uber Eats, Spark, those things like that. Like, I just basically pick what I want to do. And so I always knew that I could make more money doing that than working a job. I think I might have been making $21 an hour, something like that. And I would do orders on the side or routes on the side, and I'm like, wait a minute, I made this. And then when you do the math and you like Amazon pay. So I'm like, wait a minute, I'm making like $30, $40 an hour. This math not mathing. But you got to think we live in a society where it's the norm to have a job. So it's like, if I mention it to anybody, my mom, my ex, oh, you can't quit right now. You need that job. That's the stability and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, well, so we don't have millionaires in the world. We don't have people who own their own businesses in the world. Like, okay, all right. So I allow people to dictate what I should do, what I felt to be right, what I felt God was trying to tell me. So basically listening to people more than I'm listening to God, but even when God is presenting the opportunity. So I was like, I kind of made up my mind. At this point, I didn't have anybody to dictate what I do. So I'm like, okay. I went on one last vacation. We had our family reunion in Phoenix, and I went on vacation. I used everything. That I had, the last free nights that I had. I used any type of PTO, any type of floating holidays, whatever it was, because I knew when I came back, I didn't care. I was just going to basically either quit or get fired. So I came home, and from that, we were gone for a week, and I came home, and I would literally like just do things probably just like to get me fired. That's probably not the best way to check out, but I did it, and of course I ended up getting fired. And so the day I got fired, it literally, it was like a virtual meeting, of course, because I'm working from home, but it was like, they called me into the meeting, the Zoom type meeting, and they were just like, going over my stats and why they had to terminate me. I think this might have been like my third, you get a first warning, second warning, and then verbals, and then you get the termination or whatever the case may be, however it was. That was the last straw, and they said they had to let me go, and you're welcome to apply in 6 months, which I knew I wasn't. And it was like a weight was lifted off my shoulders, literally. And it's like, okay, as soon as the meeting was over, I got up, got in my car, and I started going to do spark orders, because I knew that was what I was going to do. And the reason why I chose that is because the freedom. Not only do I make more money, but the freedom. It's like you can't even put a price on freedom. So when I say I haven't always been this risky. And it's really not even it's really not even being risky, because I literally had made the money part-time before, and I seen what I can do. So it was almost like I already had my foot in the door with doing gig work. I just needed the push to do it. So getting fired was push. So but when I say this, and people don't often mention this part when they're saying just trust God. So that happened in July. The very next month, I get into a car accident. I'm like, oh my Lord. I had to let this job go. I was safe working at home. Now, mind you, the car accident wasn't bad. I mean, the car was bad, but I was unharmed. But the way God worked it out was that it was an older lady. She basically took a left turn onto the street that I was on and hit me head on. She cut it too short, and my door wouldn't open. Poor little lady. She was trying to open my door, and she was so frail and tiny, and she couldn't even get the door open. We had to wait till the fireman got there, but I was unharmed. I mean, when I tell you I was unharmed, and I had never really been in an accident like that, so I'm like, dang, how am I gonna work? What am I gonna do? And blah, 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 like that. So the next day, her insurance company came out to, access examine the car, whatever. And so, he was writing up the repairs and this, that, and third. How you feel. Usually the next day you feel banged up and blah, 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 this, that, and third. So he was like, okay, well, I'm going to write up what the repair costs are going to be for, to repair your car. We're going to take care of everything, blah, blah, blah. He didn't mention any numbers or anything. He just said that, depending on, it might be total, it might not, he'll get back to me. But the car did drive me home. I was able to drive home. The car didn't drive me. I ain't saying that. So I did drive home. It was just like stuff hanging everywhere, but I made it home the day before. But so I called another collision place just to see, around about what the cost would be. And the gentleman was, he was like, okay, you can bring your car in, let's schedule an appointment. And he was like, but did you get an attorney? I said, no. He says, well, are you going to? He said, you said you're not at fault, so are you? I'm like, I didn't know that I should. I didn't, like that. And he's like, well, here, let me, he said, when you bring up the, no, he didn't. He said, he gave me the man's number. He gave me a number of an attorney, and I called them, and they met me at the collision place the next day. So they kind of went over some things that I needed to do, and this, that, and third. They were like, don't stop working, still keep working, because we don't know how long this is going to take. Long story short, that turned into a settlement check. I never had to go a day without a car. I never, you know what I'm saying? I never lacked anything. Money, transportation, health, nothing. So that's what I mean. When you put God first, life is still going to life. It's not saying that you're just going to be invincible. Things are still going to happen. But the way God gets you through them is going to be almost like there's this Bible verse, and I'm about to paraphrase it like I don't know what, because I don't know exactly what it is. I want to say it's in Revelations, but it's like it talks about there being chaos in the world around you, but his children won't even know or feel what's going on. That's literally like how my life has been going. It's like you hear about this, you hear about that, people going through this, people going through that, and you just going through your daily life like it's not, like you're not in it. Listen, I don't know what to call it, but I do strongly feel like it's all in going God's way. We have choices. We got choice. He give us a choice. We got free will is a thing, right? So, and I haven't always been that way. You know, when I was younger, I feel like when I was younger, I always knew I was different. But I feel like when I was younger, I would do things to fit in. I was, like I said, I only ever been with one person, so I wasn't really promiscuous or anything like that. Now, I did have my first baby when I was 17. So y'all can put my age together like that. So I had my first baby when I was 17. I got pregnant when I was 16. But, you know, stayed with the same guy. We ended up getting married, and that's a whole nother story. I'll tell y'all another day. But I would do things, like I said, to fit in. Or sometimes I just wouldn't do them at all and just look like the eyeball. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even really mind that. Just, you know. But I was also a product of my environment. So now it's like, bump what anybody think. It's either I'm going to do what people want me to do, or I'm going to do what God say do. And for me, that's a no-brainer. That's really why I'm here on this channel, because I feel a calling on my life that I'm here to share. Because a lot of people don't know what the possibilities of life are. A lot of people feel like it has to be this one way. You know, they have to go with what society says do and says to do and things like that. Well, I'm here to tell you don't. You don't, and when you don't, and when you do what God say to do, life is so much easier. Listen, I'm telling you what I know. Life is much easier. Again, things are going to happen, but the way you get through them, you will see the way you get through them and the way other people get through them, and you like, nah, something. Well, it is right. And so you can then decipher, like, oh, okay, that's all I had to do. Yeah, that's all you had to do. The whole time. And if you're confused about what you should or should not be doing, it's like, it's really, I can't explain it, but it's like when something don't sit right with you, like I said, when I had a job, every single day I thought about, I'm an artist too. Every single day, even now, I thought about painting. For a short while, I was able to paint, and I was selling my paintings, but then, you know, life got chaotic and just different things were happening and stuff like that. So I kind of put it down. But it's something that I think about all the time. I was with my ex, a part owner of a trucking company that flourished. And that just like that got ripped from under, and I'll tell y'all that story another day too. But when I was in that role of leadership, in that role of ownership, business ownership, that's where I was most comfortable. I said, this is what I need to be doing. It's not even about wanting to be a boss. Everybody want to be a boss. I'm gonna tell you, look, everybody want to be a boss till it's time to be a boss. They don't realize that you're going to be working harder than the employees. They don't realize that you're going to have sleepless nights. They don't realize that you're going to be in the office. You might even have a home office. You might even be in the office, ain't even ate nothing. Stank, it's musty, stank. You ain't took no shot. Like, literally, it was a grind, but it was worth it. And again, it was what made me most comfortable versus working for somebody else. I honestly, really, for real, I don't believe that we should be working for people. I don't. I feel like at some point in time, maybe hundreds or thousands of years ago, everybody had their own hustle. You make corn, I make beans. You make rice, he make beads. And we swap it off like that, but everybody had their own business. And that's just my interpretation. That's just my belief. That's the way I feel about it. I feel like at some point, everybody had their own hustle, and that's how they made their money, and nobody slaved for anybody. But like I said, some people feel comfortable working. Some people need stability. And I'm not knocking anybody who that works for, because we need lawyers, we need physicians, But if it's not something like that, like, man, go ahead and find out what God, because God gave everybody gifts, everybody, all of us. For me, like I said, it's like leadership or artwork. I just had to get to a space in life of where I can do it freely and comfortably. Once I got to that, it's on now. It's on. So, I just hope I'm motivating somebody to take that leap, to want to get out there and do something other than the norm. We got too many normal people, man. We got too many normal people. They don't be happy. So, I'm happy to be here. This is my first video. I'm happy, y'all. Y'all don't know how many times I went back and forth today about, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna not do it, I'm gonna do it. But I told God, I said, look, I just got through some crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. And I mean, the way he had everything worked out, everything was already worked out. Before I couldn't even, like, literally, I wouldn't even have time to really worry, because it was every single time it was like literally already worked out. And I just feel like I gotta get this out. Like, the people, I see so many people going through stuff like every single day. To it's like, man, look, I got a solution. God got a solution. He just waiting on you. Just waiting on you. He was just waiting on me to get to just get rid of things that no longer serve me. Like, he's had it, everything was already lined up. I'm telling you, will see once you let go of the things that no longer serve you, and you like, all right, I ain't fighting, I'm gonna do what you said do, everything will be already lined up. I promise you. God not gonna play. And I'm not talking about the people who, this message is not for the people who gossip about people and jealous of people and going around talking about people behind their back. And this ain't for y'all. This ain't for y'all, because for people like that, y'all gotta do some different kind of work to get over that. But for the people who you don't wrong people, you live right, because you can feel it. No matter what nobody's saying about you, you can feel it. This is who that's for. I'm telling you, when you start living God's way, man, the possibility, he gonna make sure that the possibilities are endless. As long as you keep going, he gonna keep putting opportunities in your way. I promise you. I'm literally not telling you nothing I don't know, or nothing I didn't go through. And like I said, I wasn't always this sure. I always knew God existed, but it was like I was letting people make me feel like the way that they were taught or the way that society tell us is the right way. I was wrong. And then, but it's even crazier because every time I would do something that went against the norm, it would turn out favorable for me, and I still wouldn't learn. But you know, or every time I follow my gut, it would work out for me. And I still backtracked every time, but you know, we on track now, and I'm gonna try to help as many people as I can. You know, I'm definitely gonna do that. Y'all gonna see more of me. This is the first of many videos, so like I said, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I enjoyed talking to you guys again. This is my first video, and I feel like I listen. Matter of fact, I don't know. So tell me if I said something or did something that you know you could resonate with, or that might be able to help you. Go ahead and comment. I'm gonna read all of my comments. I'm gonna comment as many as I can, or reply rather to as many as I can. And also ask me questions if y'all feel like y'all like what I'm talking about. Y'all, if I'm helping in any way or anything that I can help with, go ahead and ask that in the comments as well, and I'll do my best to try to answer you. I'm the type of person, I don't like to beat around the bush. I'm very straightforward. Me personally, I don't like when people say one thing and then don't give either an example or specific instructions. Like, I'm very straightforward. So with me, that's what you're going to get. Like, if you got something that you're facing, I'm literally going to probably try to give you step by step, like A, B, C, like that. So, like I said, we're starting a new journey here. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.